Yeah, I've been working away on the wooden boat here, and I hollowed it out as you saw, and now I've just cleaned it up, which I'm going to show you. We'll just take this and go down. If it's luckily goes, come on baby, there we go. And there she is. I get my arm out of the way, I'll zoom in a bit. Now I've carved it out, and it's got a bit of a rough look, but it doesn't matter because that's going to be all hid afterwards when we start putting decking on. Now I was going to get lighter ply, but this is what I only had in the house at the moment. And so I made this. I call this a pencil box, right? Because that's what you're building. Now there's going to be a cutout there for the seating in that, and there's going to be a cutout here in the cabin, and for the gun in front. But I'm not too worried about that much more at the moment. I'm just trying to make the deck outline, which I've got now like that. And what I used to do with some of these models is what you do is you make it so you can pop it up and you can put something in, like hide something like a watch or rings or whatever in your house. It's kind of cool. You don't always have to do it, it's just one of those things. I've done it on a boat for fun. Made it into kind of like a piggy bank, if you want to call it. But they're kind of like, the old slide pencil boxes? Well, that's kind of what it's like. My uncle did it on the Prince Eugene. He had it, and wouldn't see it, but if you took the back guns and you pulled up like that, the whole deck would come off, and the inside was hollow, and you could put, secret things in there. Your secret compartment. So I don't know whether I'll do that on this boat yet, because there isn't that much room once you hollow here and hollow for the cabin and hollow here. So we'll see. There you go, and that's where I'm at right now. So it's beginning to shape up. The hull looks really good now. I mean, it's got a good shape to it, which took me a while. And you have to be patient with the hull if you want to get this front looking like that. So it's like a little bit like a torpedo boat. I got a little bit of a flare on it. Some of the torpedo boats are more straight. I put a little bit of a flare on it, but not too much because the older style ones didn't have that. This is going to be the upper deck thing, which needs to lift a little bit with something in the sides here that makes it look pretty. But I had a little bit of trouble with the wood. Some chips, like holes, so I cleaned it up. Just needs a little bit of sanding. There you go, so we're doing nicely. The hull is like an art form in the end. You have to look at it and say, that's lovely. So, Yeah, so what I've done here is I've cleaned up the bottom of the hull a bit, but I made these two plywood pieces for the top here. And there's this one for the back. It goes in there about. That line is. And this is going to be the bottom deck. The back of the torpedo boat here will do the same thing. The back here, it's the step down is here. The step down for the cabin's there, and the step down for the gunner is here. So I've done all three, and this is going to come on top here and lay over like that. So you get that step down on the side, see? And cutting out these pieces with 4 holes. But what I put down here is a little piece of packing wood from the packing box, just to make like a floor. And I'm just letting that dry. It's getting there. And when I put it together, we'll have a nice floor underneath at least, so that it kind of looks decent for painting without any chips and holes kind of thing. See? And there we go. There's our bottom hull basics ready for cabins and all that. I'm not too sure whether I'm going to actually glue these in the end. The boat's lovely and light because it's hollowed out, but I might glue these in and make this like all one, like this boat here, this paper boat. That's where I'm at. Yeah, we've moved to Bordeaux, from Pouzal to Bordeaux, and I've got a new workshop again set up, and let's go work on the torpedo boat. Here it is, a new shop. Yeah, a little bit smaller than the old one. It's actually a small bedroom that I've changed into kind of a semi-workshop. It'll do. So let's get at it. There's torpedo boats. I'll show you what I'm doing. Yeah, so here's the paper one that I was working on, and I kind of stopped and left it for a while. And so I got into, I'm just building this cabin part now in the wood one. And what happened is I got the wood so far and I just glued in these two pieces. And basically I've got a tin, and I've cut out the edges here. And I taped the paper cutout design on a piece of tin. So now see, I can cut it out and shape it, and then shape it back on here and make a tin cabin and make it a bit more, you know, robust. What's great about buying the paper boat builders is you have all the you know, the patterns to cut out your parts, so it's kind of really handy. So I just taped it on the tin here, as you can see, and I'm going to shape a little bit more and see how I'm going to put on the windows, maybe with copper wire, I don't know yet. And I put little tabs on the end for soldering the box closed when I bend it. So that's where I'm at the moment. I'm just going to file this a little and see how it turns out. So I'm going to make tin cabins on this and solder them together. That's what I'm leaning towards at the moment. So yeah, after a lot of cutting and stencils with cardboard, right? You know, that's the insert there for the decking there. But I can still take it out and put my wheel in, right? And my benches and that. So, you know, and then I'll put it in the very end when it's all ready to go. It should be beginning to look better. I might put a hinged roof on this so you can open up and look inside. Put fake windows on the outside, not too sure yet. Slowly but surely. Coming along nicely. Lasts forever. Yeah, so what I'm doing here is I'm taking a pointed screwdriver and sticking it into the little piece of tin here and just touching it twice with a little hammer and making little dents. They look like pop rivets, kind of, the wrong way around. You know, indentation instead of protruding out. So, but what I'm getting is, if you look at that there, I'm getting these little indentations for our windows. And here's what I'm doing. Look, I made the door, and then I stuck the window on the door, and then the door is stuck to the cabin. And I've done them inside as well, because I'm most likely going to make the top here open up somehow, so you can see inside and see the cabin and the steering wheel and everything, just to make it kind of cool. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. So I'm doing these little indentations. It's a little different to what I normally do. I thought I'd try something new. And here's the door handle. Right? When you look far away, you don't really know whether it's in or out. So I'm just trying things up. And there you go. That's where we're at. Keep on hammering. Yeah, so I've added the back cabin on today out of tin, and then this section here, and as you can, it lifts all out still in kind of one section piece, just to put the cabin in still, right? The steering wheel and that, I haven't done that yet, which I'll do tomorrow most likely. And then I can, so the plate back here has to go in, and a plate here. There's plates everywhere, bends everything. So I'm gonna have to fix this soon. Oh, you can't see there. It bends these pieces back here, so I'm gonna have to put this in for good soon and start fixing my cabin in. Now, the deck only had a little bit of a space here, so I decided to put a tin on there. It's epoxied on and taped on because they don't have the right clamps for it. We're in lockdown again in France, so back at building boats, I suppose. Now here I've done a special feature that you can lift this up with a little hinge and look inside, and I'll get the steering wheel and the little seat and that in there. So just a little feature, and you can always put your car keys inside, but it's not really for that, it's just for fun. See, there we go. Got to clean up the hinge a little more, but it's there. And as you can see, it's coming along nicely. It's like a chimney, you know, when it opens up when the hot air comes out. Might put a little clasp on it, don't know yet. But she's beginning to look like a torpedo boat now. And I'll leave this dry overnight, and then I'll clean this shape up and start putting the gun turret and inside the cabin a little. And we'll be really moving on then. I'm quite happy with that. Wouldn't mind to go out to a restaurant, but hey, everything's closed. Keep on model building, that's all I can say. You know when you solder and it doesn't take? Here's the reason why. On tin sometimes when you do it, you get a shiny piece of tin like this. Right? On top of this shiny piece of tin is a plastic. And you realize when you start sandpapering that it's kind of grayish. Now that gray is glue, so you can't solder on that. I'll show you now, I'll just go through it. You think that's clean tin, but it's not. You can see the difference. Glue, there's glue on there. Basically it's a plastic coating that's put on cans, and you can see it in all these cans that you work on. See, you can see there's a plastic coating on all these cans. Especially on the tin cans and that for biscuits. So beware, you got to sandpaper off the glue before you can solder it. I'll do another bit. So you can see it again there. Can you see that? Right? So sand it away down before soldering. Don't try to cut any corners, it doesn't work.